IBS Business School or ICFAI Business School as it is called was set up in 1984 by a great visionary, Professor N.J. Yashashvi. Professor N.J. Yashashvi was in the company of the best of the economists and financial analysts of the country. He himself was a topper, chartered accountant, topper cost accountant. Whichever exam he faced, he was number one. Now, Professor Yashashvi had a vision about this country, actually. He thought that the management education should be made accessible to every nook and corner of the country. The result is that today we have 12 universities, 9 IBS schools, and 7 ICFAI law schools, and 7 ICFAI tech university, tech institutions or departments. So his vision was that education must become relevant for industry, and the students that we produce should be industry ready even while they are receiving education at ICFAI institution, particularly IBS. So from there flows everything. He chose the faculty in a manner that the faculty is coming at least to the extent of 50% from industry. They have very rich industry experience. They understand what industry requires. And then there is a very close interface between academia, industry, and the professionals drawn from the industry who are the regular faculty, adjunct faculty, visiting faculty, guest speakers. Recently, we have introduced a system of practicing managers. Practicing managers are people who are actually working in the field. They are working with the top corporate at the very senior level, and they are brought into the class to cover approximately 30% of the syllabus. So this is how a close interface has been woven since 1984. Continuous innovation, continuous change, continuous experimentation. Even the syllabus is being redefined to reflect the changes that are taking place in the market. So the result is that the student is getting exposed to what the industry requires. Industry is very comfortable because they don't have to invest huge time and effort into the students produced by ICFAI Group. And as a result, today we have a alumni base of more than 65,000 students who are occupying middle to senior level positions in some of the best companies in India. Many of the multinational companies in the finance field, in the marketing field, in the operations field, they are coming from ICFAI Business School. Madam, to begin with, what all I will say is this institution is unique by itself. It has a personality, it has a character, it is driving certain values. The whole essence is that our student should be industry ready and he should not look for further investment by the corporate in terms of training them up again and again. That is made possible by the close interface that we have with the industry.
Talk about the unique features, I would say three unique features which everything fits in into this. So one is, of course, the teaching student activities and industry interface. These are the three very, very unique features in which every philosophy and every activity we do corners around these three indexes. So teaching, the basic objective remains in teaching that how do we remain relevant, how do we remain contemporary, because the business world is changing very, very fast. So that's one of the things. So what happens is for every course, what we look out is in terms of what has been happening in the industry, what has been there, and that keeps the teaching quite engaging. So that's something which we answer that what they don't find in Google or what they don't find in YouTube, and then that's a motivation for them to come to the class. So it has to be very, very relevant in terms of. So our faculties are very encouraged to interact very deeply with industry, understand the changes happening. So that relevance has to be there. It remains engaging because it's a very two-way participative process. Typically, if anyone sees our class, it's a lot of discussion happening around. And the objective of doing this is to make the students think and thinking in frameworks. That's an important perspective we carry further. Teaching, while we talk as a unique feature, also our focus remains that they are able to apply what they learn. And they get a lot of opportunities out of the field projects they do an internship, and even while they go for placements. Many of my students and all across our student comes in and they say, okay, they studied this kind of situation, which has been happening in the organization. I think that gives a clear edge. So teaching happens to be a very unique feature. So a lot of thought happens there. Student activity, we also feel that a lot of time students spend beyond the classroom. It's not only they study in the classroom, but they are at the campus, they're being there. So the student activity, whether it's a cultural activity, whether they're doing well, maybe a music, dance or something, or maybe intellectual quizzing or business plan games, simulations, those are the activities, or maybe sports. I think every denominator is linked to the management. Either it focuses something like an attribute of team building, leadership, initiatives. Those are the activity, even the social. I think I'm going to touch upon a lot of activities they interact with the outside world because they have to be participant while they're working. So that has been there. And the foremost cornerstone since the genesis of IBS has been the industry interface. Today, the industry not only comes at the placement time, but you would see the students who are going to Hyderabad, they would see in February during the admission process, they are there. While they are actually being there in the induction, they're going to be there. They're going to be there for many of the activities, practicing sessions, practicing managers. And that because of that, the resultant happens, internship placements happens. So these are the three dimensions in which the entire philosophy has been built up, and this becomes a very immersive experience by itself. And that makes a difference. I think what our cornerstone is, there should be a difference while the student is entering our institution and while he or she graduates. So these three are the unique features.
If I look at this, I put it in just one word, that is culture. We have multiple B schools around us, but what sets us apart is the IBS culture. Practices can be copied, cultures can never be copied. That is what we believe in. So in IBS, across the decades, we've established a culture, and that starts from right from the time when we intake the students. We've always believed that we are not just looking at the A-listers or skimming the market. Every genuine aspirant deserves to take up a management education program. So IBS allows students an opportunity to find a route to bring to reality their aspiration or dream to take up a management program. So we are not always looking at A-listers, what Sharma sir has always said. Our capability to pick students with the right attitude, aptitude, and aspiration, to identify that, yes, they are developable, they are trainable, and we can actually make a difference and shape their lives. That is one point where I believe that this culture of making it open for all genuine aspirants is one thing that sets us unique. Second is perhaps, as Sir said, in our teaching methodologies or our pedagogies, we do not actually just talk about experiential learning or action learning. We bring it into implementation because we are totally case study based teaching methodology. Now, the moment I say case study, it is actually action learning. You are into a business problem. You are coming out with some viable solutions as you believe for that complex business problem, but there are perspectives flowing in, there are deliberations, discussions, discourse. And that is when you realize that you are critically evaluating your own solutions. You look and reflect upon your own solutions. So putting the students into that position where we think and act like managers, that is what sets our teaching pedagogies apart. Absolutely true action learning and experiential learning. So in principle, practice, and implementation, we see that our teaching processes put them into a lot of experiential learning. Over and above that, if I put it in one way, the diversity at IBS campuses, what Vivek sir highlighted, it happens in student activities. We strongly believe at IBS that diversity is a fact and inclusion is a behavior. So what we are setting as an example is a behavior. We attract students from all states of the country, from all academic backgrounds, all streams, all domains, all socioeconomic backdrops. So when we have that kind of diversity in terms of age, if you look at our campuses, we have working professionals, we have a very interesting blend of students from different backdrops in terms of age, socioeconomic background, academic domains, the regions, the languages, the interests. So the way we bring them together, this assimilation, this cultural amalgamation, confluence, it prepares them for the global world where they're going to work and match up shoulders with people who come from diverse backgrounds. So that the way we bring in inclusion into our practices is also what sets us different from other institutions.
Yes, we offer both the programs. We offer PGPM at 5 IBS campuses, and we offer MBA in 4 IBS campuses, that is Hyderabad, Bangalore, Dehradun, and Jaipur. And all other 5 campuses, we are offering a postgraduate program in management. In a nutshell, if I have to answer what is the difference between the program, the structure of the program, there is no difference in the structure of the program. But I'll go a step further because that is the most common question which most of the students ask every year. We have been answering this question to the satisfaction of the students and the parents right at the start of our campaigns until the time the students is getting it into the respective PGPM and IBS MBA camp. The difference between the outcome of PGPM and MBA. There are 3 terminologies here, not only 2. MBA, PGPM, and there is a third terminology in the management arena which is known as PGDM. So I'll take maybe 3 minutes to explain all these 3. This is for the benefit of the students and to put up our case that why we are offering PGPM and MBA. MBA is offered by institutions where the UGC is coming into picture. These are university institutions, the places where the institutions are coming under the university umbrella. There are the UGC recognized institutions, they can offer MBA. There are institutions which are coming under the AICT umbrella. They are offering the postgraduate diploma in management. And there is a third category which is neither recognized by UGC or they are not coming under the AICT purview. They are autonomous institutions offering postgraduate program. Now, my question to the students would be in 3 phases. One is, how many of you would like to go for a PhD after your management program? How many of you would like to go for a higher study abroad after your management program? And how many of you would like to go for a government job after your management program? If the answer is coming yes in any of your cases, then the MBA and the PGDBAs might be sufficient. PGPM, you need to have one more additional qualification, which is an online MBA. And that is making you sufficient for the eligibility criteria is fulfilled to join any of the PhD, higher study abroad or government job. So in case of 5 IBS PGPM campuses, including the Ahmedabad and Gurgaon centers, which are currently in the screen, we are giving an opportunity to the student to join online MBA of ICFAI that is given by the university at Hyderabad, that is IFHE University, same university under which IBS Hyderabad is running. And this is in addition to the PGPM program of the respective PGPM campuses. We are charging 60,000 rupees for the total program there. It is never clashing with the examinations of the full-time PGPM program. And it is having the similar curriculum. So you need not study additionally. Whatever you are studying in the PGPM program as a regular student, that is more than sufficient to clear the online examinations, which are going to take place for the online MBA program of ICFAI Foundation for Higher Education. Now, why we are offering this as an alternative only, it is an option, it is not compulsory. If you are having those 3 answers yes, any of those 3 answers yes, you just opt for it in the beginning, complete your program and finish the program in 2 years. Keep that degree with you. After 20 years of your corporate life, if you feel like that I want to enroll in a PhD program, just take out that online degree, go and enroll. It is a valid degree. But now coming to why you are going to do a PGP, PGD or a MBA program is because you want a job. It is a corporate entry you want. And all these 3 are leading to a corporate entry. In fact, who would have thought on 13th of November 1961, once Kolkata was formed, that the PGP program would become so famous in years to come. And in, I think, 2017, once the Parliament Act was passed, the IM Act, now they are giving MBAs. But prior to that, all the IMs were giving you PGP, mostly all the IMs, excluding, I think, IM Kolkata, which was under AS. Nobody was bothered about it. Industry was saying the students who are coming out of the institution from IM, they are good. I am going to hire them. Same is the case with our institutions. The industry has experienced 66,000 alumni in last 25, 26 batches which have graduated. They know that what is the kind of pedagogy we go through, what is the kind of learning the student has gone through. They are industry ready. So please don't bother about the terminology. It is just going to create a little confusion in your mind to eliminate some choices, which is not good at your end right now. My suggestion to all the students would be accumulate as many choices till the month of March and then start eliminating the offer letters which are in your hand in the month of March.
Basically, I would also add to that you will also have this is the course which is going to give your career. So you should reach out, you should take the chance, do some research, and then decide. Asking is very, very, very good, but the decision ultimately lies with the child. So all students have to come forward, ask. There is always a helpline and admission line at the universities also. Do a little bit of research. That goes for specializations also.
Eligibility, if I have to go with the admissions eligibility first, the student has to be a graduate or a pursuing graduate, 10 plus 2 plus 3 or 10 plus 2 plus 4, and with a English medium background. If you're not having that English medium background, we are having scores of TOEFL and others which are accepted once you are submitting this course. The graduation completed students are obviously knowing their percentage, 50%. If you are in the final year, you are eligible to apply to us. And once you are applying by the month of November 2024, you have to submit your graduation proof. So by then, all the results would be declared. In case any university is delaying any results, you have to take a special permission from the respective campuses. And once the university declares the result, 50% is the cutoff for the intake. As far as specializations are concerned, we are having I would request Professor Sharma to
Yes,
elaborate on that, sir.
sure. Each of the campus is offering a different set of specialization. For example, at IBS Gurgaon, we are giving specialization in the field of marketing, finance, analytics, and HR. So operations is there as an elective, but we are not giving a full package which will prepare the students for manufacturing or operations activities. But for example, Hyderabad might be giving much more than what other campuses are doing. So it's a question of what the students need. But this finance, marketing, and HR is available at all the campuses.
And I would like to add to it, apart from the specializations, we have got very strong 8 electives where the
Yes.
student would come and join and undergo with the choice of their interest. It can be a dual specialization, maybe a finance or a marketing or a finance or a operation somewhere or a finance or a
Yes.
HR somewhere. But these 8 electives are very, very unique in nature, and all the segments in the industries are covered under these electives. So, Professor Ranga, Dr. Ranga, if you would also like to add to these electives part.
The choice of specialization students are guided counsel in semester 2. A lot of students, this happens to be a major question, when the students are joining us, that what kind of specialization they should choose. We always tell them that, be there in the open mind, at least for the semester 1. From second semester onwards, we start getting the alumni to talk to them. What are the kind of specialization they had chosen and how did this was been mapped to their career journeys. We also have the faculties talking to them. What are the kind of opportunity matrices are available because every year industry is changing. That is, we also have recruiters coming in and talking. So we do a bit of counseling and sessions and roadshows in semester 2, where they choose in kind of specialization for semester 3 and semester 4. So they do 4 electives in semester 3 and 4 electives in semester 4. What we've usually seen is a lot of current things happening around. Last few years, we've been seeing a lot of buzz around digital marketing, analytics. Those are the kind of things happening around. Startup is something which is picking up. The capital market things are picking up. So I think these are some of the things. What we say the students is, first of all, look at your interest area. What interests you? What is that connects you well? That is first part of it. Second is, do you have a respective required aptitude for that in terms of even not only the interest? It should not be a fad, which is happening, a popular choice. Don't get into a popular choice. But do you have required aptitude? Like if you're not coming from a science background or pharmaceutical background, no point in taking those kind of career choices. So, or maybe if you don't have a statistical background, no point in getting into analytics at all. So you have a required aptitude for that. And third, which very important, which I think we play a very important role is, what does kind of opportunity exist after you graduate and how this field is going to grow up. Like I remember when I was 23 years back when I was joined the institution, a lot of reforms were happening in terms of the capital markets. So, mutual fund industry was just picking up. At that time, we introduced courses like wealth management, commodities, which the students took those electives, and today they are the big stories. They have become national heads, they have become CEOs. So if you pick up at the right time, alignment with the opportunity metrics, it goes very well. And what we do as faculties, what as a director, what I would tell my faculties, to constantly look around in terms of what is the kind of opportunity available. And because we have a co-teaching happening, it's not only the faculty teaching, the industry is also coming in. So I think we have been able to balance this, and this helps in the specialization choice they make it. As Professor Sharma said, marketing, finance, HR, operation, these are the generic specialization which remains for all the campuses, and there's been a good demand happening in terms of this. But second semester is a very important time. Just one thing I want to add. So you make a choice in semester two. Mostly students would try to align the internships with the kind of specialization they're going to do, and they will go with a similar internship. Internship is also very unique, 14 weeks, so they get a very good perspective. And when they come in, they have a lot of application oriented happening this, and this connects again back when they're into these specializations. So that's the entire process which is taken care of, I guess.
I have got two questions here from students. So Shivam is asking after Mr. Jatin talked about MBA, PGM, which one actually is good then? Doing an MBA or a PGD?
Shubham, your interest, if it is your end goal currently after around 700 days, if it is to enter into one of a good corporate, then any institution is good. Any terminology is good. But if you are planning to do PhD, then you can join institute which is giving PGPM or MBA. But if you are joining institute like IBS Gurgaon or Ahmedabad, which is giving PGPM, I would suggest add on a degree that is an online MBA from IFHE Hyderabad and keep it for future. But in the current scenario, I would ask you to do a little homework. How many institutions in the country are giving MBA? So you will find there are very limited number of institutions which is coming under this where you would like to join. Then there is a second category. How many institutions automatically there are some are private and some are government run coming under the PGDBA. There will be a list coming under that. And third will be the autonomous institutions like us. Now the priority is I want a job after 700 days. In the year 2026, in the month of February, I want maybe probably a 8 lakh rupee job. That is on an average I'm talking. Now, if that is a scenario, there are almost 4,000 plus business schools in the country, if I'm not wrong, listed one. If you are not amongst the top 25,000 seats, the people who are joining the institutions where this desire can be fulfilled after 2 years from now, the institutions which are giving a 6.5 lakh package now can come up to the average package of 8 lakh, 10 lakh, 20 lakhs in the future. Those 25,000 seats are available where? If I put together all the 21, I am somewhere around 6,000 odd seats. If I put institutions like MDI, FMS, XLRIs, or some institutions under Narse Monji, the Symbiosis institutions, the IMT institutions, the IBS, all these institutions are the institutions which are coming in the top 100 list as far as perception and outcome is concerned. If you club all the seats in these institutions, you will come up to around 25,000 seats. And I'm very proudly announcing here that out of those 25,000 seats, 5,000 are available with us in the 9 IBS campuses. And the average goes from 6.3 to around 10.4. In the last year, I am talking the batch which has passed out this year. So average of 4,000 plus students across 9 campuses is touching 8 lakhs. You can make a choice. Is PGPM good or MBA good or PGDBA good comes afterwards. That comes immediately after your 2 years, you won't join a PhD, I'm sure. Unless you are joining a PG program to do your PhD. You will spend some time in the industry. You will get to know the industry. You will mature there. Then you will start looking, okay, can I join some institution? Can I become a professor? Then this bent of mind start coming in. I've worked for 21 years now. I think, okay, now my stage 2 would be, I would like to go for a PhD. That is how it comes over a period of time. And that time, obviously, this online degree would be useful for you. For us, I was just talking to Prabha madam before this session started. I was just updating her that last year the highest national placement for IBS was 21 lakhs. This year IBS Gurgaon, I think last month has bagged a placement of 25 lakhs. That is the national highest. And coming to Dehradun campus, last week I got an information that the highest international package there for this year is around 35 lakhs plus. So irrespective of the institutions, you might think that some institutions are small in the group of 9 institutions. No. IBS Jaipur has grown by 100% intake last year from around 140 students to around 300 plus in the current batch. Why? IBS Ahmedabad is giving such beautiful international exposures. Their alumni are available in most of the countries where IBS alumni are available. Why? Because the kind of inputs which we are giving, irrespective of PGPM or MBA, are same across the centers. So I hope I have satisfied your query and all the students who are having a doubt between PGPM and MBA. Please don't worry yourself with this terminology.
The second question is coming from Satyapriya. She says IBS Jaipur and Dehradun also have HR specialization. There's a question mark to that. How is the HR program in Jaipur and placement scenario also? Any big four have come for the HR students?
There's a lot of questions coming around this. So before we talk precisely about HR, I would just like to add that what Vivek sir was saying, that there's a lot of counseling and guidance that is happening through alumni, through corporate experts, and through the faculty members before we encourage students to take a particular set of electives. My response to Satyapriya also is, please come with an open mind, as sir said, because the moment you come into the program, you explore yourself to the extent that you must have never imagined. The way you unleash your own potential. During case study discussions, you'll realize that your interest and maybe your aptitude lies in an area which you never thought of. And maybe even after that, if you believe that you are good to take up HR as your career, we help students with a lot of personality career fit assessment, where they get a lot of scientific evidence that, yes, this is the area where I have an inherent penchant for. And once you go for an HR specialization, let me make it very clear that roles, opportunities are available for all profiles, for all domains. You need to be adequately skilled. I've always been telling students that the kind of requirement the recruiters or market has when it comes to candidates from marketing or for finance or HR are different. We expect the finance students to be very, very well read because it's an extensive, exhaustive domain. At the same time, in marketing, we look at the overall attitude and the persuasion, convincing the candidate comes with, how smart the candidate is, and how well read he or she is about the market, the competitor, the clientele. But when it comes to HR, there's a very different set of expectations that recruiters have. Traditionally, HR is not something that recruiter perceives to be a profit center. They see how you add or contribute to the value chain, the overall value chain. So any of the 9 campuses, we have nurtured our HR students in such a way that they grow steadily and they're able to contribute to the value chain. So placements are going to happen in HR in all the 9 campuses, even at Dehradun and Jaipur. TCS has picked up HR candidates from us. Now, looking at a tech company picking HR candidates from us, essentially they have their own set of requirements. So it has been happening at our campuses also. EY also chose HR candidates. So companies do come, they have their specific requirements. So getting placed in any of the domains is not a problem. But there has to be a very wise decision, a very informed decision that gets into like what elective or specialization you want to opt for. So allow yourself time to explore, understand your own interests, a lot of personality career fit assessment that you do for yourself, a lot of counseling that you'll get from experts, and then take a more, I would say, prudent decision about your specialization. Don't worry about placements and training. That is anyways going to happen.
Actually, one of the things that I keep telling students also is that you also have to have those qualities that a recruiter wants. It's not just having an institution having a placement scenario. It's a two-way thing again. Yojit has another question. He says, I'm from the pharmacy background. So will a health administrative course benefit me?
What is pharmacy after all? This is a growing sector. India needs healthy people. And in case this gentleman is face to face with me, I would have told him that there is a great career. Actually, all pharmacy companies, both multinational and domestic, they have been instructed by the government to employ students coming from the management stream. because they can communicate better both with the doctors and the patients and the hospital authorities. So there is a huge career, I find, for those who are having a degree in pharmacy. If it is combined with management, they can reach the top of their profession.
If I can just add something on that.
Yes, please.
Like
Yes.
we being at the pharmaceutical capital of the country, because the Gujarat is known for the pharmaceutical belt. We often have companies coming in, but we don't have students. We have a few pharmaceutical students, they would get placed, and often the companies are coming for multiple roles, for marketing, for finance, for patents. There's so much opportunity, and COVID has really stimulated those kind of requirements. So I've been hearing and been talking to best of the pharmaceutical companies, who again happens to be a bigger, markets are in US. So I think we are the biggest contributor to this. So I think there is no paucity of jobs in terms of the pharmaceutical graduates.
It is a powerful combination, madam, if you are having a management degree coupled with a degree in pharmacy.
Yes, we accept CAT, GMAT, NMAT, and ZAT scores in addition to the IPSAT scores which we conduct in the month of December. One liner, if I have to say why IPSAT, I would say if you are really interested in reducing your fee by around 2 lakh rupees, then IPSAT. We are having a very beautiful scholarship. So we started it last year. It is totally worth around 10 crores of rupees. 2 lakh rupees of scholarship for the 500 rank holders, top 500 rank holders, only and only on IPSAT examination. Although we accept CAT and other examination scores, CAT is 60 percentile, ZAT is 60 percentile, NMAT is 150 and above, and GMAT is 500 and above. But all these are just the qualifying scores. You are not eligible for any scholarship through them. But at the other hand, if you are applying for IPSAT and once you are writing IPSAT, you are in the top 500 rank, you are likely to get a scholarship of 2 lakh rupees, directly reducing from your first two installments. So that is why IPSAT should be written. Secondly, the probability of getting selected. I would like to quote some tentative numbers here, although these might not be exact. Somewhere around 3.3 lakhs around CAT, as around maybe a lakh plus for yesterday we got in a public domain around a lakh and 42,000 for SNAP. Somewhere around similar numbers for NMAT. GMAT obviously is a different set of examination. Our IPSAT examination comes on the top 5 national management examination with around 30,000 takers and around 5,000 students in class. That means the probability of getting selected into IBS, 1 out of every 6 is in class. And similar probabilities you can do for other examination with the tentative numbers which I have made, with around 6,000 seats in the 21 IMs, with around 280,000 people writing the test on this 26th of November. What is the probability of per seat there into IIMs? Obviously, there are various allied institutions wherein you can get in, but your aim is to get a seat in IIM Ahmedabad. What is the probability? This is why you have to write IPSAT. It should not be termed as a plan B for you. It should be termed as a top 25,000 seat accumulation institution or examination for you. As I said earlier, that I have to make sure that in the month of March, I am getting a call from at least 6 of my dream colleges, and then let me eliminate 5 out of them. Currently, obviously, the CAT tentative, this list is out, the scores, not the scores, the kind of question paper output is there, the answer sheets which we call. Most of the students are very clear what is the kind of scores they are going to get in the CAT examination. So you would be knowing that either you are in or you are not in. If you are not in, let us move on. There are institutions which are keeping you in race, which are giving you an opportunity to go ahead and make your career in management, become CEOs in the future, and even hire IMs, people from IMs. So the journey is not stopping here. Today, some of you would have already completed your SNAP first phase of examination. It might have gone good. We pray and we think that all of you should get into your best inspired college. But what if not? You have to have an institution offer letter in the month of March, because wasting a year, my personal suggestion would be, if the retirement age is fixed, you are foregoing your retirement age salary for 1 year if you are joining 1 year late. And just imagine after 40 years from now, The average packages of all these institutions, including ours, would be in how many lakhs? So that is the kind of earning which you are going to forego if you are not joining this year. If you are delaying, deferring, you had tried your best from July. From 1st of July till almost 10th of December, you have been attending various examinations. You have obviously put in hard work. Now, not everybody can get a seat into IIMs. Not everybody can get a seat into ISB or maybe a MDI or a XLRM. The people who have got were a little better on that day. Now, for us, IPSAT is just a qualifying examinations. Again, I'm coming back to the question, why IPSAT? It is just a qualifying examinations, the scores of which will be only valid for giving you scholarships. After that, there is no weightage on the IPSAT score. Your past academic records for the last around 15 or 18 years, which we have already studied, 10th, 12th, and graduation, that is where we are going to judge you. 50% of the weightage is on that, and remaining 50% weightage is on the GTNPI. So that means if on an average, if a person doesn't do good in IPSAT, but he is qualifying, certainly you will get a call for a selection process at Hyderabad. But that score will not make you valid for the scholarship. That is okay. But you are not getting rejected just because you didn't got a very good day on the day of the IPSAT examination. But obviously, on the other hand, some institutions give a little more weightage or a lot of weightage on their entrance test. There, obviously the elimination stages are different. That is why you should opt for IPSAT. One examination getting you 5,000 seats, one application form which is getting you into 9 IBS campuses. And the process is a common process in Hyderabad. We call all of you to Hyderabad, the people who get selected. Out of 30,000, around 18 to 20,000 students are called to Hyderabad, out of which around 12 to 15,000 turn up to Hyderabad, out of which around 4,500 to 5,000 study in the 9 IBS campuses. So if you are reaching Hyderabad, obviously you have got from the 6 probability 1 out of 6 to 1 out of 3. So just see, that is why it is a gettable college. Don't go with the perception that if I am going, I will be bagging top choice which I require in IBS Hyderabad. Obviously there the competition comes into picture. Everybody would like to get a seat into probably IBS Hyderabad or maybe some other campus of their choice. But as per the past feedbacks which we have got, everybody wants to get a seat in IBS Hyderabad, but only 1,200 students make through. Remaining students study in other 8 campuses and they are doing equally good. Like last year, the average package of IBS Jaipur was 8.53, if I'm not wrong. And that is better than some of our other IBS campuses also. So Hyderabad, obviously, it is the bargaining power of the placement team is a little more as far as other campuses. It happens in any institution. If you go into IM ABCL, and if you join the new age or what they call the baby IMs, same company is coming for placement, the packages would be different. The offers in IIM Ahmedabad would be different because they think that it is a top notch, the cream which is joined here, and other people. So that is why you should join IPSAT. So I have given many reasons, ma'am, to join IBS campuses. I have got many more, but because of the time, I am not going into that.
Okay. There is Samta who has asked one question. She query goes like, "Hi, I have 5 years of work experience in e-commerce, account, and sales management. I'm looking to upskill. So, what will be a better choice, digital marketing or just marketing or any other MBA?" Now, this is a 5 years of experience, a challenging question.
All I can tell you is that, say, IBS Gurgaon is having a huge specialization in the field of digital marketing. Apart from choosing the right electives, we are inducing the students, encouraging them to go in for certification courses. Now, these short certification courses are having huge focus, and 50% of the cost is borne by ICFAI Business School as a subsidy, and the remaining 50% is borne by the students. And during these certification courses, they are taught exclusively by industry experts. So she is welcome to join IBS Gurgaon, I will say. And we will see that her experience of 5 years is properly converted into the commercials and should bring good dividend to her?
Of students, ma'am. Even the work ex students are joining us. Even the freshers are majority are freshers. There are work
Yes.
ex people who are joining us. There are engineers who are joining us, and even the doctors in the past have joined us. The pharmacy question, which was there. So it depends on what kind of experience you are carrying and what is the kind of role you want to play in the future. Companies are coming, obviously, once they are finding a person from that particular background and experience, they would create that opportunity for that student.
Just to add Samta's profile, now she has an experience of 5 years in e-commerce. Now, two options remains, digital marketing, obviously she can pick up, but also having experience of e-com, with the inputs in management, she can grow up to the ladder in the corporate hierarchy, in terms of leadership, management, the hierarchical growth is also possible. The kind of students we have got with similar kind of experience, they've grown up, so they were an executive, they got into manager of the district divisional manager role. So hierarchical also growth happens.
The pattern is similar to any other management exam. If you have prepared for CAT, then I'm sure this will be a cakewalk for you. We are having 4 sections. We are having a verbal section. We are having a reading comprehension section. We are having a quant and a RC or a DILR section. This is having a total of 140 questions in 120 minutes. There is no negative marking in this paper, and all the questions can be attempted while going back and coming forward also. It is a remote, online, home-based proctored paper. You are not supposed to go anywhere. On the CAT day, I got information that in certain cities, especially I think in Mumbai and some in Gujarat, there were heavy rains and many students they missed their exam. So this is not the case while you are writing IPSAT. We know the IPSAT is near to the Christmas Day. Every year we keep it on the last weekend of the December. This year it is 23rd and 24th. You need not reschedule your travel or the holiday plan. Be anywhere in the world. Just keep a laptop with you with the internet connection. And that is what is required for 2 hours. That is why it is a remote proctored examination. We started this during COVID times, and we thought that it is one of the easier way for a student to write the exam at the convenience of their houses, and obviously the kind of time saving which it creates. These 4 sections, if you have to be going into the depth of syllabus, it is the similar preparation which you have done for CAT, much easier than that. But I would suggest that if you are really interested in writing IPSAT, there are very many number of mock IPSAT papers available, obviously on our website, which is ibsindia.org. We are also having a very beautiful national mock test contest going on till I think 16th of December, next 6 more days, which is again giving you an opportunity to judge yourself on a national platform. It is a free mock test contest. The first prize winner obviously is getting Indian rupees of voucher of rupees 10,000. Then remaining around 99 students are getting around 2,000 each. Apart from that, if you are preparing from any of the tutorials like maybe Career Launcher or IMS, on your website, on your domain, we have partnered and we have put in some IPSAT papers. You can go there. There are various other free platforms where the mock tests are available for IPSAT and other examinations. The pattern is the same. 2 hours, computer-based test, remote proctored, 4 sections, 120 minutes, no negative mark.
I think the best part is also that it's for shortlisting and it's not considered for your admissions later on. It's just clearly for screening and shortlisting. So
Yeah,
that actually is. So there's one question from Yashvi. So do all top 500 scorers get full scores from past experience? Does a near perfect score correspond to 90 percentile?
Yashvi, I would like to make it clear here. The scholarship is not at all keeping any weightage on your past academic record. It is purely and purely on the IPSAT written examination. Your selection in one of the IBS campuses, I would again give you the process how it goes. Once you are writing IPSAT, you will obviously get a result probably in the first week of January. Generally, we try to declare on the New Year Eve. And once you are getting that, you will know whether you are a scholarship holder or not. This is one. That is on the basis of IPSAT. Secondly, we will ask you to confirm your date for the selection briefing. These briefings are, we meet all the selected students along with their parents in around 60 plus cities in the country before they are coming for the GDPI at Hyderabad. And why we are doing it? To clear all the doubts which they are having after the written examination is over and they are selected. We call them at a common place, the nearest campus directors or the faculties, along with one alumni, along with the setup which is there in the city, the information office setup. They are available for almost 1.5 hours that session goes, and you can ask any questions. Once that is over, this time it is scheduled between 6th to 14th of January. Once that is completed, obviously you are called for Hyderabad on a particular date. That date is given randomly, not at all based on your IPSAT scores or whatever. In case you are having your examinations, the graduation examinations or something on those dates, you can send a mail to the admission officer with 3 alternate dates. It is a window of 10 days. This year, we have scheduled it between 10th of February to 18th of February at Hyderabad, IBS Hyderabad campus. Now, you have to, supposing you get a date of 10th of February and you are having an exam, you can just give us 3 alternate dates between 11th and 18th. We will try to accommodate your first date, which is there. Once you come to Hyderabad, you spend a day there. It is like a process which is for around 1,000 plus students in a day. Along with their parents, they be there. Every batch is of around 12 students. Each batch member has to go through an interview process and the GDPI round. In the GDPI round, everybody has to speak. If you haven't spoken because of whatever reasons, in the end, you will be asked to summarize whatever the others have said. That means we are going to judge you on your communication, clarity of thought, your participation in the GD. Your 50 marks are given on that, and past academic record obviously are there. So this 500 scores for IPSAT scholarship is on IPSAT exam. Selection for GD and PI for the IBS campuses is on the academic and the GD and PI scores. Once you are in Hyderabad, we will ask you to fill up 9 campus choices. And these 9 campus choices are compulsorily to be filled up. On the merit and choice basis, you will be getting 1 cap.
There is Shri who has asked that she's in the final year of degree and she has a backlog in the 3rd semester. I'll be able to get an admission for MBA before clearing my backlog.
Backlog, as I said, 1st of November is the date where you have to submit your graduation proof with 50% and above. We will be giving you time till then. If you are not able to clear by then, you will not be able to continue the program. But I would suggest, Shri, that if you are really on the borderline case, maybe somewhere near to that, and you are thinking that you will sail through, then only apply for us. Otherwise, don't take a chance. If you are thinking that you will not be able to get a 50 percentile in your graduation, then I think we will not be able to continue.
November is quite a long time, so you should be clearing it. Otherwise, it's another waste of an academic year. There is also Kushnas who says, does college accept NMAT scores?
Those students who have applied for NMAT, we are a partnered institution with NMAT by GMAT. There is a little bit of confusion with the students that if I have ticked IBS there, I need not reapply for IPSAT examination. No, not only for us. If you are giving your NMAT score to any other university in the country or any other institution, parallelly you have to apply for that institution. Same goes with IBS also. Even if you are not willing to take that scholarship of 2 lakh and you want to give your 150 plus score of NMAT to us, we can accept that. You have to fill IBS form. There is an option of NMAT score there.
So in essence, if you are applying other than IPSAT, then you have to still fill the application form for IBS.
Yes.
And that's the bottom line. Without that, there is no way it will automatically get processed. So please apply.
Most
yes,
of the
yes, many of them.
Yeah.
If they've written the entrance exam, they automatically assume that it is, understood because it's a participating institute, but that's not how it works. So students, if you have to apply, you have to fill the application form.
Jatin has already elaborated a lot on this. We've always had a good mix of students. Definitely, the majority are freshers, but we've always been attracting a lot of candidates with work experience to our campuses. Now, when we look at the policy in terms of admissions, certainly we have not earmarked any weightage for a work experience. But I believe you would appreciate the fact that once you have a work experience or maybe an exposure that is broader, you may influence the perception of the evaluator during interview. Maybe there are certain questions where you come up with very logical and convincing responses. But we've often been surprised that even fresh graduates come with that kind of strong orientation, or maybe because of a lot of exposure during their bachelor's or a lot of internships that they have taken. So certainly we've not earmarked any scores for the same. But definitely, if it adds on to your performance during the group discussion and the interview, or makes your submissions or arguments more interesting, more convincing, and more substantiated with evidence, that is one area where your scores in GD and PI may have an impact, because you are perhaps submitting more logical points. But we've generally not seen any kind of discrimination evaluators need to make on this line. So that's how we do it. And when it comes to, I mean, other than admissions, I'm just taking a minute to go beyond this. Even when it comes to the placements, as Vivek sir was talking about, companies and recruiters come with their own specific requirements. For certain roles, they might have requirements where they need candidates with certain years of experience. So automatically, those roles are clearly identified. The job descriptions are shared very specifically. So there is no overlap. So when it comes to admissions, our policies encourage both the sets of candidates. When it comes to placements, it depends on the recruiter's requirement, where we have recruiters who we have been associated with for years, and they've invested a lot of trust in our processes and our trainings. So they do come to us for those lateral hiring requirements also, or requirements where they need candidates who are with us, but they have a work experience prior to the program.
I will identify three initiatives. First is that our syllabus is a moving syllabus. It is not static. It is not stationary. It is reflecting the changes which are taking place in the marketplace. Second thing is that we have introduced the system of the practicing managers. So these practicing managers are occupying, as I said earlier, very senior positions in the corporate. They bring to the classroom very rich experience in terms of problem solving and decision making in a given context. And third thing is that we have a system where 4 professors enter the class together. This is called impact classes. So there is a soft skill specialist, there is a placement manager, there might be a professor of economics or finance or account, or there could be a specialist in marketing. So when these contemporary subjects, etc., are being prepared, it is a joint effort made by these 4 set of specialists. We have found it that the student is able to get a full perspective, a comprehensive perspective of what the industry is looking for and how has he to prepare himself or herself to meet the challenges.
Adding to that, I think you were trying to understand how we are ensuring that the admission process becomes more robust. So that I would put in 3 steps. One, the qualifying exam. So the test is designed in such a way that it offers equal opportunity to all the candidates. All sections that are testing your aptitude, your intelligence, cognitive abilities, mathematical abilities, language aptitude are very well designed. So one thing, that the designing of question paper, it is a very thorough exercise, very meticulously designed to see that there is no discriminatory impact. I'm saying the intent is always offering equal opportunity. The impact also is very, very uniform, egalitarian. Second, this is only a qualifying examination. So at times we get to hear that engineering graduates or students who have had a backdrop of mathematics do fare well in these kind of examinations. So we have placed it as a qualifying exam. It gives you the eligibility to appear for the selection process if you're aspiring to take admission to any of the IBS campuses. So these scores are definitely not going to be consequential to your allotment of campus or selection of campus. Right. Second, we see that students may come with extraordinary academic scores in graduation, class 10 and 12. At times, we find students who come with modest scores or decent scores, but they have a better aptitude or a very strong aspiration. So we allow them a lot of opportunity during the group discussion and personal interview. So the weightages have been so designed that only 50% is earmarked for the past academic scores. Class 10, 10%, class 12, 15%, and the balance 25% for the graduation scores. But again, there is a balance 50% where across the group discussion and personal interview, you have 25 marks each to showcase your capability. You may place your opinions, your perspectives. And at times, people with decent or maybe modest academic scores also have very strong perspectives. So here we make it more robust. And then again, as Jatin sir said, that you can appear from examination from any part of the world. So remote, proctored, easy to access, user-friendly approach to examination again makes it very robust. Then coming to the next part of it, in the selection briefings that we have in the month of January, we offer students an opportunity to come with their parents to 70 different locations and seek a lot of clarity about the admission process and IBS systems. So again, this is making our admission process robust in terms of sharing a lot of information with the candidates and the parents. It's a collaborative decision, not just the candidate, but the family members, the guardians. So we are giving them ample scope to take a lot of informed decision. So they have multiple channels and occasions where they can connect and seek information from us. Next to it, if I say the final time when they come for the group discussion and personal interview, one, we absolutely do not encourage any canvassing or quota. So it is very, very fair. And the panels are very judiciously planned. We have very senior faculty members who are very experienced, well-read, and good to assess the attitude, aptitude, and aspiration of the candidate. So the panels are very well designed. So right from the entrance or the qualifying examination to the group discussion and personal interview panels, the scoring, the weightage, the method, everything is very fair, transparent, robust, and I would say seamless.
So one of the students of MR Mishra, he says, what is the advantage of joining PGGM after my graduation in zoology? And what should my specialization be if for PGSM?
It has something to do with the health sector, the medical
yes.
sector. So whatever advantages are going to the students having a degree in pharmacy, a similar kind of advantage should be available to this student as well. And one more thing I want to put forward, that we are, and our potential is not defined by only one thing, what degree we have obtained at the graduation level. We keep on evolving, we keep on growing, we keep on making ourselves more and more versatile. So life is all about versatility, all about seizing the opportunities and making contribution towards self-development, peer-to-peer learning, learning from the best of the sources and so on. So that kind of mindset the student should have in case you want to reach the potential.
Adding to that, I think Professor Ranga had already informed that in the second semester, you will be allowed to have guidance and a lot of scope to decide the specialization. So you need not decide it right now. There is ample scope. You figure out after a few months into the system, have a lot of faculty, a lot of alumni people to connect with, and then you can actually take a good decision then. It's not tied to it.
The advantage to this kind of student who comes with a zoology or maybe the CBZ kind of specialization, they can either make a career in the healthcare sector where you can look at the pharmaceutical organization, or also they may rediscover themselves. As Professor Sharma was saying, many of my students who have been B.Pharm, they are doing excellent in some of the financial industry, IT industry. They rediscovered themselves while they were there. So I think both the option lies. So you have a very good scenario where you can build up two options. Either you could move into a graduation discipline, or you can acquire new skills.
The kind of market conditions then. So first year you just judge the market conditions. If at all there are certain things which are booming, some sectors which are booming by the time you are allowed to choose your specializations, then why not go in? That is your area of interest, if that is your area of interest.
There is another question from Jay Patel. He says, I got more score in NMAT. So if I applied in IBSAT, is it only for the scholarships that it is advantageous?
Yes, if 2 lakh rupees are some value for you, and if you can reduce your burden by 2 lakh rupees, at least that opportunity you should give it to yourself just by writing IBSAT. Otherwise, obviously, your NMAT, if it is 150 plus, you will be given a call for the Hyderabad selection process. But I would, if I would have been in your place, I would certainly write IFSAT. If I am in the top 500, why not reduce your fees by 2 lakhs? Fee is ranging between 6 lakh to 16 lakh in our various campuses. In a couple of our campuses, Dehradun and Jaipur, it is 3 lakh per annum. In the PGPM campuses, it is 4.5 lakh rupees per annum. That is 9 lakh for 2 years. And in Bangalore campus, which is off campus of IFHE Hyderabad, it is 6 lakh rupee per annum. So 12 lakh there. And in Hyderabad, it is around 8 lakh rupees per annum. So 16 lakh rupees. So this is how, if you can reduce 2 lakh from each of these, just imagine it is a financial burden which will be reduced. Go for it.
So again, there is another child who has asked, I'm an economics graduate. Is business analytics good for me?
The answer is absolutely yes. Analytics will place you in a highly advantageous position, not only at the time of entry, but for the next 40 years of your professional life. Because nobody is interested in only finding out more or less. People are interested in algorithms. People are interested in cross-sectional and longitudinal inferences and interpretations. Therefore, analytics is of great value, particularly for a student of economics.
One of the questions I think is coming in, what is the batch size? It's been commonly asked so many times. So I was just wondering if there is a particular set fixed batch size.
Capacity. And wherever there is a capacity, we can withhold a number of students. We are taking those many number of students. But in a section, there are 60 students per section. And like in Hyderabad, we are having in excess of 1,200 students this year. But there are various sections where the students are studying. So in a section, it will be 60. And in a campus like Mumbai, we are having touching 1,100 students. There are around 300 plus students in Jaipur, around 600 odd students in Gurgaon, around 60 odd students in Ahmedabad. There are around 450 to 500 students in Bangalore. There are around 200 plus students in Kolkata. Dehradun, around 150, 175 students. So there are various capacities. We are currently up to the capacity. Mostly all our centers are full, and it is irrespective of the campus, the kind of pedagogy, the kind of approach which we give to a student is common across, because that is a hub and spoke model we do. We are having our headquarter in Hyderabad, from where we are getting all the guidance, and that Hyderabad head office is giving us opportunity to be on the same page across the 9 IBS campuses.
Every year admission process, like if I have to tell about this year, the 9 days admission process, we have finalized 18 recruiters would be coming and visiting. That means 2 recruiters each day would be coming in the admission process. They'll be talking to the students before they go for group discussion interview. I think the industry connect starts from there and there itself. So you see the industry coming in during the admission process. While they come in month of May, where our orientation program starts, I think a lot of recruiters are coming in, internship recruiters, placement recruiters coming in. And what do they, and I think that remains the best part of the program. Most of my students, while they've come back as an alumni, they said whatever been spoken by the recruiters in the first 15 days of the program, that has given them a trajectory, what should be they operating. And many of them join those companies. So I think that is there. They also being actively coming in, like each course we do, there are 3 to 4 sessions been done by the industry experts. So that is another opportunity. Plus, also we have opportunities where industry people are invited for a lot of events which are happening at the campus. Maybe when the students are doing. Why we do this? Because if we are engaging with the industry on a continuous basis, I think the placements and internship happens as a byproduct. Today, when we're talking about placement numbers and internship, and students would have these queries, like a lot of queries for even the kind of fabric of questions which are coming in relates to placements. Now, imagine totally across IBS, while we complete the placement season, 700 recruiters recruit our students. Now imagine 700 companies walking into these 9 campuses, how much the interaction is happening. And these are only the placement times, but I think there are a lot of interactions been happening around. I have seen people at my campus while they were companies, right from financial services, information technology, FMCG. Those are the kind of companies would come in at all the campuses. We also run certification programs with the industry. So I think there are varieties of means been created at the institution where you see people coming in and they've been talking about. They talk about typically how do you look at this industry? What are the kind of growth options been happening in those industry? What are the changes happening? How they can, typically we were doing one series like how a day typically looks at, if you're joining an organization. And this gives a lot of clarity. And what we always feel is we facilitate our students to make an informed decision whether to join while joining our programs, joining an internship, or joining a placement. I think that information is been done, and industry is something. In fact, during the COVID time, none of the jobs were dishonored by the industry, so they've been working so closely. Today, we run a partnership programs also with the industry. So I think industry connect is one of the philosophy which we've been doing very actively. So I was in fact talking to the director of IMA last month. I just happened to meet him, and he was talking about the kind of the kind of industry connect we have. So that is the kind of endorsement we have, in terms of people recognizing that what is the industry interface we do.
Well, my dear students, the day you join IBS, we try to create an environment in which you become good at communication, you become effective in terms of computation, you develop certain attitudes which induce you towards collaboration. So what all I am saying is this is not done only in the classrooms. It is done through 30 clubs. For example, in Gurgaon, we have 30 clubs which are being run by the students themselves. The students are given a budget, and then the faculty looks at them from a distance and encourages them to take decisions. And the students themselves invite best of the professors from different institutions. They organize different competitions. So they develop the art of managing the things. After all, managing, generally we say managing money, managing materials, managing manpower, and so on and so forth. They develop vision, they develop contingency plans, they develop entrepreneurial skills. So apart from this, we have a language lab. For example, some of these students might not be good at communicating effectively. So for them, phonetics and choice of words, vocabulary, etc., is being infused into them by specialist professors in the area of English language. So wherever we find the deficiency is there, it is not only through classes, it is through these clubs and societies and cells that we try to develop these extracurricular and co-curricular activities which are having organic linkages. This is very important. Extracurricular activities and co-curricular activities are not hanging in isolation. They are in a way connected to the syllabus, and it is this composite and comprehensive approach which prepares or transforms the student into a highly useful material for the industry.
Well, I always say that none of the MBA, PGPM, or PGDM programs has courses in the name of time management, adversity management, resource management, technology management, network management. You don't have courses for it. This is learned through experience. So we put students into these clubs. They are into all domain clubs: marketing, finance, HR, entrepreneurship, economics, then clubs in fine arts, performing arts, music, photography, visual arts, designing, technology. So the moment the students take up the they are the drivers of these clubs. We go by these principles, entrust them with responsibilities, enable them, empower them, enrich them. So when they organize activities, when they plan events, when they get into a lot of interventions, they learn this time management, resource management, adversity management, money management, network management, technology management. This all develops their digital quotient, their creativity quotient, their social quotient, their I would say a lot of emotional quotient also. When we are working in teams, we are organizing things, we are leading, we are contributing to the teams. And one word, if I put it, really enhances your critical faculties: taking decisions, identifying which route to go. So we encourage a lot of co-scholastic activities with a very clear intention that these are extension of our academic activities, which are inherently designed to see that they make you industry ready. So the intent may be academic, the outcome intended is being industry ready. The processes ensure learning through a lot of activities and events that we provide through a campus experience.
There is one question by Advaika, which asks, do you have any international exchange programs? Would it be something equivalent to doing an MBA abroad?
I don't think we have collaboration. Maybe at Hyderabad, some kind of collaborative arrangements are there. But other IBS campuses are giving you international exposure through international immersion program, under which the students choose a set of countries, and it is a kind of a self-finance program for about 10 days to Europe or to Middle East, etc. And the students are given exposure of how industry is working, how teams are formed, how the work culture in these countries is different from our work culture, how the supply chain management is working, etc., etc. So that international exposure mechanism is there.
It will be announced if at all it is there at the time of the selection process. We are in process of collaborating with some international universities, but till the time it is finally done on papers, we will be waiting for the final announcements.
So I'll take a while here. I'll just try to put in the different bits and pieces together to see that the students look at a holistic picture. See, the moment you take a decision to choose a B school, generally, if I go by the statistics, how many hits do we have on pages related to faculty profile or pages related to campus life or the gallery or maybe the placements? Naturally, the first thing that they're driven to is placements. But then again, placements is not a one-time activity. You may secure a job opportunity. It's all about how do you survive and sustain across the years after that, 30, 35, 40 years of your life. When I look at accreditation processes, they have very well-defined criteria. They would be having criteria like the academic infrastructure, the curriculum, the course design, the mapping of the program outcomes with the contents of individual courses, the faculty capital, the intellectual capital, research and publications that you generate. A lot of weightage is on alumni interface or the student welfare that the institution takes up as a prime initiative or maybe an agenda. You would be surprised. Students perhaps don't even know there is so much of weightage attached to the governance part of it. At the end of the day, we understand that leadership and governance are things that students also, tomorrow they'll be taking up these responsibilities. A lot of weightage is attached to sustainability or initiatives in the same direction that the institution is taking. So the different parameters predominantly related to academics, pedagogy, curriculum, program designing, evaluation methodologies, your faculty composition, their qualifications, experience, expertise, your industry interface, industry connect, not just placements. In what way are you bridging the gap between the industry and the academia? How do you bring in industry to the campus? Then a lot of alumni interface, how do you have it? They lay a lot of emphasis on seeing that what is the kind of overall environment or climate they create. A lot of feedback coming from student community, feedback on courses, feedback on teaching, feedback on campus experience. So the moment we look at these accreditations, I would go by one principle. When you say no to feedback, you choose comfort over growth. And this generation, I certainly know, would never choose comfort, they will choose growth. So accreditation is a feedback mechanism that makes you understand how is the institution faring on all those parameters. Tomorrow, when you choose a B school, you need to see, the people who are there to train you, to guide you, the mentors, the facilitators, what kind of experience and richness do they bring to the classes? How well is the curriculum design? Is it preparing you to be that lifelong learning orientation, that agility? Things are so temporary these days, it would change in another 2 years. Is the program preparing you to have that constant learning orientation, that agility to upgrade, upskill? So these accreditations actually look into the overall structure, the way you drive the academic processes, industry connect, the campus experience, the student welfare, and also a lot of social areas written very clearly in terms of sustainability, growth, and also a lot of issues that the students should be very concerned about as responsible citizens. So I take accreditations as something which you all must read about, and particularly the individual parameters.
Our campus in Hyderabad is AACSB accredited, and AACSB only around, if I'm not mistaken, around 23 to 24 institutions in India are accredited, very few of the IIMs. This is giving some of the global standards of accreditation to us. Second is obviously the students should, as you said, should not be going only with one-sided efforts, and they should ignore the rankings and ratings. But rankings and ratings, as ma'am said, is a feedback of overall process. There are institutions which do not even participate in some of the rankings. To the likes of even IIMs, they do not participate in some of the rankings. That doesn't make them bad. So the alumni feedback, the kind of perception that college is having in the market, in the minds of the industry people, that is what the student should be looking for while joining an institution. And I would highly recommend that please make a visit to the institution. You are going to invest almost on an average 10 to 15 to 20 lakh rupees there. Why not spend a day, go along with your parents, go and visit the campus, meet the director, meet with a couple of the students who are studying over there, see the classrooms, whatever infrastructure is available. That will make it more viable decision once you are finally joining. And expectations everybody was having to get the best seat, but you have to be very clear that if I am going for round 2, round 3, then these are the institutions available.
Adding to that is like accreditation is not just a one-stop thing; it's constant. So the institutes also have to work to maintain that particular accreditation. So it makes it all a robust process. So yes, that's
But
why
over
they
and above
matter.
accreditation, I always believe the endorsement that comes from the industry and the endorsement that comes from the alumni, that is the biggest testimony. So any institution, how industry responds to you and your system, that we've always been pioneers and leaders in that. And with 66,000 alumni, we know that the kind of endorsement we have from the two major stakeholders, the industry and the alumni.
What is industry? A group, a collective group of individuals who have passed out from the B school. So we have got majority stake in the industry as 66,000 people sitting. That is what is our strength.
One dedicated module is the internship, which is for 14 weeks. They go from February second week to May last week, around 20th May, three months. And this is very unique by itself, in terms of no other business school has been doing consistently for last so many years. We also have a faculty guide attached who would go with to the company, visit the organization, whichever location this organization, if it is in India, and will meet, and they jointly will work to monitor the students. The faculty also takes a feedback how the students is performing on the pass, how is behaving punctuality, how is meeting the commitments assigned. I think that gives an exposure. Now, why internship becomes important? Because most of the students would be coming in are freshers. They'll get first a corporate exposure. They'll get an office exposure. How to work in an office, how to work, how people behave while they're in an organization. Second is they also understand how is the industry doing, and that's a very good opportunity for students to apply whatever they've done in first year, and they get a hands-on opportunity to apply. Like I'll just give you an example, which these students would be able to relate. Well, they were in first years. A lot of students were picked up by interns with Coca-Cola. They were all being there in terms of the IPLs happening, at the biggest cricket stadium we had. I got such a fantastic exposure, not only of managing Coca-Cola's brand in the stadium, but also about the variety of aspects. Because in a sporting event has a lot of multitude of experience. And three of my students were being there in the World Cup matches were there. Now, when we visited, when we videographed the students, the kind of exposures they've got, the kind of event of happening of that scale, and they've already got a pre-placement offer from a company like Coca-Cola. Now, that is helps them to understand. It's not only making the product marketable or selling that product, but it's also meeting the logistics. Like the students were coming and telling me, when the World Cup finals were being organized at Ahmedabad, there were 400 truck lorries were coming from the packed mineral water coming from Hyderabad, and that were flying to Ahmedabad. And the entire logistics was to be done. Now, these were the things the students were being part. So they work on such kind of active assignments. So many of the students across campuses are involved in IPOs. They're involved in chill life class of the organization. So that is the internship. Plus, we also give a field project. Like the subjects we teach, we also encourage them to go to the industry. They visit the industry, they observe, they become part of that. So that gives them a practical exposure. And the faculty designs this project in such a way that they are ought to do a lot of times we've been sending students to across the city, understand the city, the social structures, the transportation structures. So these are the kind of practical exposures which we get, and we always tell the students you have to create your place in the organization. And as a result, today, all being such a bigger institution where 4,000 plus students are coming, many of the students gets confirmed after the internship. They get a pre-placement offer. I think that number is constantly on the rise, and that shows how much students get ready on the internship and the practical exposure. That has been outcome of that. Technically, the placement season starts in the semester three. So if you're joining the institution, let's say in 2024, your placement process would start in 25 in September. Around September, it will start. The companies would start coming in, and the placement time is between different cohorts. So it goes from September to February, and the student gets placed. But what we tell is the placement approach, the mindset to preparation. So we have something like an impact classes, which was Professor Sharma was mentioning. That module is crafted in such a way that the inputs are starting to be given from semester one onwards. Okay, so semester one onwards, they are being told, but the specific preparation, what happens is, we need to prepare the students for placements. So they have been prepared again. The students would surprise me if they're thinking that they're going to last time going to do a group discussion. It's not that. Again, when recruiters are going to come, they're going to do the group discussion. They're again going to have them written test, aptitude test. Those are the kind of things happening. So it's a placement preparatory module has been done where again the students are taught. There are specialized tests like companies like Deloitte and all, they do a Watson test. There are case analysis. So we prepare them between the July to September mode. That preparation would happen. And it's a very robust preparation, not only these preparation, but also understanding the industry. A preparation about how are they going to present themselves, how are they going to face the interview. And let me tell you, these interviews are very uh, I may call it, a lot of students would come in and that these are stress interviews, not exactly stress interview, but they have been asked on a lot of details. So each of this interview would last for 30, 40 minutes. Why this would happen? Because the kind of compensation you're getting, the kind of level which you have been hired, I think the industry wants to know. So a lot of preparation would happen. And while I say today at this stage, we have already had 350 recruiters for this season. We're already touching a 60% of placement. The average salary is ranging between 8 lakhs to 10 lakhs. Each of the classes, like Hyderabad, is making around 10.35 as of now, and the other campuses are already between 7.8 to 9 lakhs. That is the kind of preparation that's happening. Very interestingly, out of the 3,800 students who are part of 3,500 students who are part of the placement pool who have opted to be getting placed, we placed more than 50% of that, around 60% of that has happened. The major recruitments have come from the VFSI sector. If you would look at the banking, the financial, the insurance, that has recruited almost 30 to 35%, followed by IT and analytics area, where you have companies like, again, in the IT domain, eValueServe, Cape Gemini, Wipro, Bank of America, Bank of New York, all these are the kind of companies are coming. But one of the very interesting trend we've been seeing this year and last year also, the manufacturing and the consumer good companies are also rising. And that is something which shows we were very equally strong in the financial services space. But having manufacturing, consumer goods, pharmaceutical, consumer durable companies like we talk about Wipro, LG, or Samsung, why are these companies coming? These companies are coming and are indicative of the consumer demand India has, and that these companies have exhibited confidence in our institution because our students not only know the industry, they know to how to work with the retail channel, distribution channel. Maybe when you're looking at the consumer durable companies, they also work with the financial services, but that is rising. In fact, we are seeing a very good rise in the infrastructure companies like cement companies, paint companies. These are indicative. And if you see the GDP numbers were there and the monetary policy was also there last week itself. And this is driving the consumer demand. And our recruitment names and the numbers are semblance of that growth happening in the industry. And that makes the institute very important. And that should be a pivotal reason for somebody to join. I think what we debate internally is It's a very tragic situation where you have degrees, but when you don't have jobs. I think you can reverse the situation if you understand the opportunity matrix. And that is what the placement numbers are driving. And I can assure with all my colleagues being there, and I think our single focus remains the industry and placing the students. I think everything and anything we do, and that is what 350 recruiters as of now, when we are talking about December, this number would become 700 and 700 companies working across locations. You will see the kind of leverage we have, the kind of clout we have today in terms of the industry. And I can assure, and we have seen a lot of questions which we have not been able to pick up. And students have a lot of questions, like they have done this graduation, they want to get into those kind of choices. I think this is all plugged in into our preparation. And I can assure, I can very, very high conviction. We always say there's a 66,000 reasons for you to join IBS. And these are the kind of experiences we have had, and we had a lot of conviction when talking to investors. Personally, I spent some 23 years in terms of placements, so I have a lot of conviction when we talk about placements in domestically, internationally. We're also approaching international placements very, very closely. Each year we travel to a lot of geographies. It's only been in this year where the Middle East and other places are, having some turmoils. So we have avoided to go, but I think we have a lot of good base of alumni, a lot of good base of industry has been happening. But I think the placement process is there. A lot of students who are getting placed. Now, one of the very interesting scenario I would want to say, ma'am, those students who got the placement offers, July they are getting placed. June they will get the grade sheet. Practically 11 months they live with that placement, and I think they enjoy the kind of the kind of smiles on their faces, and they enjoy the studies. And even when Jatin was talking about scholarship, I have seen the glow on the students when they get checks of 1 lakh, 2 lakhs, or because of the set performance. That's amazing. Because even you when you get this, I think no other joy than getting a job and getting a scholarship. I think that is something our systems are in place, and I'm sure many of the students would achieve, and we want many of them to achieve this. So that is what I was talking about placement, ma'am.
I would like to say to the students that eliminate yourself in the month of March. Choose the colleges in the month of March till the time accumulate the offer letter. Don't eliminate yourself now that I am not fit for this college. Somebody will be rejecting me. I should not apply for it. Grab those seats, then take a choice in the month of March. 16th of December is the last date for IPSAT. Apply before that.
My message to the students is that IBS means assured success. IBS means lifelong success. As long as you are developable and you are willing to put in hard work, we will ensure that you get transformed into a highly usable material or a person for the industry.
I would just say one sentence: whichever IBS campus you come to, we as a family are looking forward to welcome you and to help you shape your career. Best wishes.
Yeah, I would say believe in yourself and look at what is going to shape the world in next 30, 35 years, which is going to be their work life. And align an institution which can fit into this vision. I think you need to look at an institution which is forward looking, and that's what we have been an institution. All the best.